Ciao ragazzi, this is Katie Portanova, and you're listening to Florence and Me. I'm a lover of stories and all things Italian, and I'm going to bring you all that in this podcast. My intention is to inspire you to step out of your comfort zone and explore life and travel the world. Join me as I tell you my story and many others about Italy and my love, Florence. Andiamo! Ciao a tutti. I'm so excited to be back. I'm sorry. I keep saying I'm sorry. I keep wanting to publish another podcast, and things have been going really well at Truly Italy. Just really busy. Really great things happening, and I can't divulge everything right yet, but I'm so excited. So the podcast has lacked content, so I apologize if you've been waiting. So what I want to say is that there are some good news for travel to Italy. I am really excited. The first thing that dropped few weeks ago is that Italy no longer requires you to have a COVID test before boarding your plane. Hallelujah. Yeah, one more thing you need to do before you get on a plane internationally. One more thing you need to schedule exactly 24 hours before. PCR, rapid, what do I do? Doesn't matter. No more. I'm so excited. It's like just one other thing. I mean, when we travel, if it's domestically or internationally, it's a pain when you have to, you're getting your bag set and everything. But one more thing. I mean, COVID, this whole pandemic really tested my yearning and want to travel abroad, because if I just didn't want to do the test, I would have been screwed. I wouldn't have been back until right about now. So almost 2.5 years after this whole debacle happened. So it's very exciting. So congrats to everybody that is going abroad in the upcoming year, the upcoming summer, rather. Yay! Yay! Okay. The other thing that has happened in the past, actually just happened this at the beginning of May. You no longer have to fill out the digital locator form. Yay! Yay. One more form that you had to carry with you. When we went in July of 2021, oh my good God. I had so many pieces of paper with me. So many. From my COVID test, because we took 2 different ones, to the digital locator form, which you could have had on your phone, but they weren't equipped with it. So blah, blah, blah. There's all these things. So no more doing that. Woohoo! Okay? Less paperwork. More travel. Yay. Okay. The last thing, which I just read this morning, Europe might be getting rid of us having to wear face masks on airplanes. Yay! Oh my gosh, so many exciting things. So it says it should be lifted by May 16th, EU-wide, so not just Italy. So if you're going anywhere else abroad, anyone else in Europe, you might not have to wear your mask. So on the airplane, which again, yay, 8 hours with the face mask. Oh my God, horrible. But I got used to it. I did. And I've told you guys that. I got really used to it. So, but I'm really excited. Maybe no more masks. We're not sure yet. We haven't reached May 16th. When we do, we'll figure it out. Woo! Okay. So, the last thing, which I hope they lift, which I don't know if they will for the summer, because they keep saying that we're going to get, I don't even want to talk about what's going to happen in the fall, because you don't know. Hopefully, we'll get the test coming back lifted as well. So those of you going to Italy or going to Europe for the first time, be aware. Find with your hotel, with your Airbnb, with your villa, wherever you are, find the nearest pharmacy and get your COVID test before you leave. You will not be able to leave the country without having that negative COVID test. Italy is a little bit more scarce now because they don't take a lot of COVID tests anymore, because they don't need it for travel. Okay. At least in Europe, I think they dropped a lot of it in Europe. So, and just so you know, in Italy, it's not going to be the same pharmacies that are going to have it. They do it in like shifts. So if you're in the center of Florence, don't be scared. You're definitely going to find plenty of pharmacies and plenty of places where you can get the COVID test. Or last case scenario is, worst case scenario, I guess, is you have to do it at the airport the day before. If you're near Rome, if you're in Florence, you can just go to the airport the day before and get the test done, which, me and Stefano might have to do. If by the time we return in the middle of June, we might have to do that. So check, make sure your hotel, your villa, whoever your concierge is for wherever you're staying in Europe, make sure you have that information before you go abroad, because you want to make sure that they have that. And I'm sure they will, obviously. They want Americans to travel. Why? Because we spend a lot of money. That's just it. Italians love us. Europeans love us. Everybody loves us. Okay, moving into travel time. So I am leaving in, just look at my countdown. I've got a countdown on my phone. 21 days. Woohoo! 21 days and I'll be back in Firenze. I'll be back in Toscana with my friends, with my family. And I'm going to be visiting like a lot of vineyards, guys. A lot. Because there's if you didn't see my Instagram video, it's okay. Doesn't matter. But I have something really big on the horizon. Really, really, really big. Really big. And I'm really excited because it's something that I've never seen before. And I can't wait to launch it. That's why I'm going to all these amazing places in June. Really excited. Okay. So yeah. So my business trip / vacation / time with my husband, will be spent visiting places for my upcoming clients like yourselves. And these places are places you probably have never seen and you probably can never find in a travel book or in Rick Steves' book or Google searching, whatever. There's just so much that I want to say about it, but I can't tell you yet because it's not ready. It's still baking. It's like a really good, like lasagna. Okay? Think about it. Really good lasagna needs some time to bake. You need to bake it. Let it marinate a little bit. Let it do what it does. And then I will serve it to you on a beautiful platter. And you'll be like, oh my God, Katie, that's amazing. And thank you for creating it. And you're welcome. Yes. It's exactly what you're going to say. All right. So I'm going to kind of go from, I'm going to explain to you a little bit of why everything is really hitting me really, really hard. Really, really, I'm feeling a lot these days. I'm feeling a lot. Things are kind of moving into the right puzzle piece. Like everything's like fitting into place that I've always wanted to do, that I've always wanted to create. And I'm doing it in a way that makes me just want to scream it from the rooftops or the mountaintops or the Tuscan hilltops. So I want you to imagine, just do this little visualization with me. Imagine yourself at a beautiful villa. I don't care how big it is for you. Create that vision in your mind. You're at a beautiful villa in the middle of Tuscany, and you open your eyes, if you closed your eyes with me, as I close my eyes. You can open your eyes in your mind, and you visualize and you see these beautiful olive groves and vineyards in front of you. You take a deep breath in and you smell the lavender that's to your right, the rosemary to your left, And you sit with this feeling of going, oh my God, I'm actually here. I'm in a different country, exploring this new culture, meeting locals, and tasting the fruits of their labor, and really immersing myself in the culture, immersing myself in the people. You sit down and you have a nice glass of wine next to you, you're sitting in front of the pool, and you imagine this feeling of like wholeness. This feeling of I'm actually present in this moment. I'm experiencing things that I could never have done before because I was go, go, go. But this vacation that you created for yourself is something you can slow down into. Something you can put your devices away and, look around. Use your eyes, as my friend Pasquale would say. Use your eyes. Don't use your phone. Don't use your iPad. Use your eyes. And as you go around to these little towns and you meet these amazing people in these restaurants and these bars and these pubs, and feel into that feeling of being present. I want you to really ask yourself, what does that feel like to you? Because when we travel, we've all been on those vacations when we travel and we're go, 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 we're one step to the next step, we're one step to the next step, and we can't sit back and explore and experience and feel what it feels like to be present, to be in the presence of beauty, to be in the presence of delicious tasting flavors, to be in the presence of the vineyards that have been cultivated and curated and taken care of like they're little babies of these families. I mean, I don't think a lot of people have felt like that on vacation or have felt like that ever. So I want you to keep that picture in your mind because this is what truly Italy is all about. It's about presence. It's about authenticity. It's about bringing you to the Italy that I know. Being an immigrant and being an expat, lived there for over 20 years on and off, who's moving there in a few years back to my homeland. I'm going to say my homeland because I don't think I belong here. I think I belong there. Like I know that the stereotype that a lot of you hear is La Dolce Vita. La Dolce Vita, you hear it in Under the Tuscan Sun, you hear it in Eat, Pray, Love, you hear it in a lot of like movies and books that talk about Italy. I will honestly tell you that La Dolce Vita does not exist. It might exist for, the rich, the wealthy, the people that are able to live like that. But the normal people, the normal Italians that work their asses off every single day, that are in their shops in the center of Florence trying to make rent, they're making these beautiful paninis and they're really like struggling. And the people that are making these beautiful ceramic tiles that's in the center of Florence and it's a tiny little shop and they're hardly getting it. These people work so hard. They get 1 month off a year. 1 month. We think, oh my God, a month, that's amazing. They don't get weekends off. These people work their asses off. Think about the people in the vineyards. My friend Paolo that I told you guys about before from Altiero in Chianti, like he doesn't even like going on vacation because all he thinks about is his vines and all he thinks about is taking care of what he's cultivating and what he's creating. I'm not saying that you shouldn't come to Italy and think, oh, La Dolce Vita, this is beautiful. But it's not a real thing. I'm never going to publicize that with my retreats or with my trip consulting. Like, you will enjoy things because you're on vacation, of course. It's going to feel like La Dolce Vita. But everyday life, I lived it. I lived working my ass off every day, every month of every year that I was working my ass off. I keep saying that. But I did not see the fruits of La Dolce Vita. I remember family members asking me, like, have you visited other places in Europe? I'm like, no, I have no money. I barely make ends meet as it is. An aperitivo every week with my girlfriends was what I could afford. Maybe a weekend away, a night away at the seaside. Those of you that have never lived in a different country, not just Italy, you don't understand the lifestyle until you're there. So as much as you can say, I want to go to Italy and feel that La Dolce Vita, sure. But know that I'm not going to promote it. I'm not going to promote it in my business at all, because for me, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. My husband worked his butt off. I'm going to use butt now. Before I met him, and then the last few years we lived there, and the way Italians work, they rarely get overtime. Rarely, wherever they work. So, anyway, I'm going to get off my soapbox about that, but I want you to just feel into that feeling of being present. Feel into that feeling of being in a place that's authentic, that is simple, that is showing you their true colors. Because that's what I'm going to show you. That's what we're going to show you with our retreats and our trip consulting. That's what's going to happen. There's no going to be any like mirrors or magic that I'm going to say, ooh, look over here, you're going to get this, oh my God, it's me. No, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to send you to honest people that make amazing things, from wine to ceramics to whatever you desire. I'm going to send you to the genuine people that deserve your business, or that deserve to be heard. That deserve to be heard. And this phrase I coined for myself the other day when I was talking about my amazing idea with my brother-in-law, and I'm going to replay it here, and it might just be a tagline. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. I want you to be drinking somebody's story. I don't want you to just say, oh, I had this great bottle of wine, it's like this year or whatever. I want you to understand the story of the family that has started this vineyard, or understand the story of this castle that has been here for millions and millions of years. I want you to understand why the Medici Chapel is very important for Florence. I want you to know that the Duomo wasn't the first Duomo. San Lorenzo was the Duomo way back in the Medici time. Those are the things that I'm going to share with you. And those are the things that I want to share with my community, even if you aren't able to come on a retreat. I plan on making some videos while I'm there this time. I really hope I get time to really do a lot of that stuff. But a week goes by really fast. So, and it's also vacation, blah, 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 whatever. Let's hope we get to the seaside. Let's hope we get to the beach. So I'm going to stop there with that. The last thing I'm going to say about that is that I do have 2 more spots left for September 24th through October 1st, outside of Florence, Castel Fiorentino, right down the street from my mother-in-law. I have 2 spots left. So if you are at all interested, trulyitaly.tours/Tuscany-retreats, join me. Ask me questions. If you have questions, trulyitalytours@gmail.com. I have already 4 people. Love to have 2 more. If that is you, if you're itching to come, feel free to reach out. Don't worry, I've got more in the works coming 2023. And then I'm gonna go right into, excuse me, I don't know why my voice said that. Excuse me. Some travel tips. I don't know. I need to have I probably need an editor on my podcast. Travel tips for Florence, for Italy. I'm gonna give you just a few travel tips when you're traveling. ATMs. I get this question a lot. ATMs. Okay. I recommend always getting money out of an actual bank's ATM. An actual bank. Do not go to the ones that are attached to a pub or a bar. I don't trust them personally. But again, if you're in a bind, you'll be fine. I mean, I've done, I think in Rome, I did that one time. I got money out of, it was right next to a bar, a cafe. So it's fine. But I try to go to Banca Toscana, Monte dei Paschi, Intesa, Banca Intesa, San Paolo, BNL. There's tons of banks. You really can't, don't worry. It's just like being in the States, but the banks are prettier and they have prettier names. But yeah, ATMs. And I've got the question, should I bring money over, buy euros before and bring it over with me and have it with me? It really is up to you. I mean, you'll have ample opportunity to get money out when you arrive in Rome, Milan, or Florence. There's ATMs everywhere in the airport, so you really can't. It's not like you're going to be out of cash. Oh my God! You all have credit cards. Credit cards are accepted most places. So, if you feel like you want to have cash with you, maybe you're planning on taking a driver from the airport just to have some tip money. Sure, have that. But I normally don't, because I already know that I'm going to get money out when I get money out when I need it at the ATM, because it's a first world country, guys. So don't worry. ATMs, good. All right. And on money again, I think I might have talked about this once before, but tipping. I've gotten this question a lot of times, not even just recently. Every time anyone talks about Italy, they ask about tipping. Tipping is, for restaurants, let's talk restaurants first. It's not obligatory. Americans really like to tip. And obviously Italians like that because they won't say no. But Italians who work in restaurants make good money. They make a good amount of money. Cost of living, it's not like waiters here. Again, I'm going to compare the two. They make an honest living, a living wage, so don't feel like you have to tip. I mean, if you feel like you want to tip, I mean, the most I would leave is €5. I mean, you don't have to leave €40. I mean, it's just that it's a little too much. So, but yeah, tipping other things like tour guides, drivers, what else? Drivers, I would definitely tip. And same with tour guides. If you are at a vineyard, you're paying for the tasting. You do not have to tip the guy that gave you the tour. They make money. Don't worry. Yeah, so that's what I think about that. I'm trying to think if there's one more thing about tipping. Taxis, I would not tip. If you want to give them extra change, keep the change, great, fine. You don't have to give them extra dollars or extra euro. So don't feel like you have to do that. And then moving on to ice. Ice is something, especially coming into summer, Italians do not put a lot of ice. Oh, you won't see ice in your water on your table. Don't expect it. Italians do not like to have really cold beverages because they believe it's not good for digestion, and it's true. It's not. So, and same with water bottles. When you buy bottles of water in bars or cafes or pubs, they're not going to be freezing like they are here in the States. So be aware, it's okay. It's still water, okay? Cocktails and other types of alcoholic drinks, they will have ice. FYI. So don't worry. It's not just going to be like a margarita and no ice. So there will be ice. Water. So speaking of water, water is perfectly safe to drink in Italy from the tap. Some places will say, it's out of your taste. You might not like the taste of the water, but it's not like if you go to Mexico, you're going to get sick. Like I know a lot of people get sick from the water in Mexico. Italy's not like that. They have good water. But bottled water is prevalent. You can find that anywhere. So no worries there. Okay. And the last thing, since again, we're into summer, air conditioning. Now, if you are staying at an Airbnb or an apartment in the city center of Florence, you probably don't have air conditioning unless it's stated in the, where you booked the apartment. A lot of places do not have air conditioning. Italians do not like air conditioning. A majority of them are totally against it. Why? Again, they believe you can easily get sick. And I will say I believe it because when I lived there, I did get sick because I believe the air conditioning got me sick, either from the car or from a house when I was at somebody's house or at an office building, whatever. So be aware. Unless you're in a really nice hotel, you might have air conditioning. But again, if you're in a city center, an old city center, an older apartment, you probably don't have air conditioning and it's going to be okay. Okay, no complaining. Please don't complain to the owners of the apartment. They're not going to put in air conditioning for you. They're not. Yeah, so just deal with it. Deal with the heat. If you have a pool at the place you're at, go jump in the pool. You'll be fine. Yeah, so that's it. That's all I wanted to say today. Yeah, and if you have any other questions about your upcoming trip to Italy, feel free to email me. I can do an episode on maybe something you're concerned about. I hope you all enjoy your trips to Italy. It's going to be a great summer to travel to Europe. I mean, Europe needs it, especially with what's going on in Ukraine. So everything's still safe, for Italy at least, so don't get scared that you can't go to Europe. Ukraine is really far from Italy. My mother-in-law keeps saying. So, just listen to your gut. Listen to your gut when you're planning travel these next few months. But yeah, I am grateful that you've listened thus far. I kind of went from a couple different tangents, but I am very happy to still have this community. And guys, there's more to come. More to come. Allora, a presto amici. Ci si vede. Ciao ciao. I am beyond grateful for you listening to my podcast right now. I am so excited to share my journey of living abroad and all of my stories of Florence and Italy and all the places in between that I've visited. If this has reached you in any way and you would like to continue, please subscribe now. Also, go check out my website, trulyitaly.tours, for all my travel experiences. Ci si vede. Ciao.